Don't you hate it when you pay for something and you're not actually getting your money's worth out of it? I feel like that's some of the conversations that I have with so many new hosts that come to the platform. Like they understand that they're part of the platform, but they don't have a very good understanding of how to use the platform to get their money's worth. In this video, I broke out a little section that's going to talk about how I use the listing portion of PadSplit to make sure that I am getting the most out of it. At the end of the day, the listing portion is where members see my property and they make the decision, am I curious enough to click the little tile? Am I then curious enough to have the intention of booking a room? So marketing turns into sales, but that has to happen through a conversion window. This is part of the framework that I talk about when we talk about, do you know how to use the platform? By the way, my name is Quentin Went. I am a real estate investor, but I come from a background of strategy and process consulting for working with business owners to go from understanding the business that they have to generating revenue in that business. I took those same tenets and I brought them to co-living when I joined PadSplit, and I decided to become a real estate investor focusing on co-living. I work with hundreds of hosts around the country who have all the best intentions. They want to provide affordable housing. They want to make an impact on the mission. But at the end of the day, they've all come to the realization like, hey, I actually run a business. I allocated $200,000 to $500,000 in these properties. I need to get a said return so that my business stays break even or profitable. What's the intention of hopefully being profitable? So those are the folks that I work with is they have a current business. I use the same framework I did from our consulting days. Do you understand the marketplace you're in? Do you understand how your business is being run? Do you understand and implement systems and processes to allow yourself to be as consistent as possible to deliver the returns that you're looking for? Ultimately, at the end of the day, the light bulb comes on is that if I slow down and build systems and a framework, I can focus on what I really like doing, which is being a real estate investor. And real estate investing is super sexy. It's so much fun. It's deal analysis. It's deal flow. It's saying yes or no. It's making real good decisions on, does it underwrite correctly? All of those are unique skills. You need to have the real estate investor skills to identify properties and get deal flow sent to you, absorb and analyze those properties, have the wherewithal to underwrite those deals, understanding your financing and how it's going to implement, how you're going to do the property conversion, and how you ultimately go live with an ultimate product that you're going to sell to the marketplace and to individual end customers who are then going to pay you rent. And maybe they like it enough that they want to stay for a while and continue to pay you rent. That's our business. Can I collect rent from paying customers where they want to stay 6, 9, 15 months? Where I can consistently make good revenue over a period of time. If that's the business you're interested in, take a look at some of the links that I have below, learn some of these frameworks and processes, improve your business operating systems so that you can focus on implementing the systems in place so that your co-living business runs smoothly. And then you can focus on the investment component that you really, really enjoy. Some people like operations and they love it. Most of the people that I talk to, they really enjoy the real estate development, real estate investment side of it, less so on the operations side. But one thing that we don't understand, if the operations side doesn't pay for itself, we don't have a business. We have nothing but liabilities. We need to turn some of these liabilities known as properties with multiple bedrooms that are doing co-living into some assets where they're generating good revenue to pay for the mortgage, pay for the debt service, pay for everything else, and then drop some cash flow into the bottom line. If that business is consistent, it informs the sexy part of our business, which is real estate investing. Let me go out there, identify good properties in the right markets, work with the right vendor partners, understanding the right financing models, implement them, hold them accountable, deliver a good product, send that over to the operations team to then execute on those systems that you have in place. That's the business that I end up coaching and working with individual investors because they want to grow their portfolio. I look forward to working with you. There are all sorts of different ways to market your listing using the PadSplit platform. I'm just going to go through an exercise that I do every single Monday. Most of our bookings on the platform happen between Thursday and Sunday evening. On Monday, I come back around to my listings and I double check, hey, what was the impact of this weekend in terms of views, in terms of unique views, booking requests, and anything like that. This weekend, I had a booking request come to the house. I ended up ultimately doing a background screening and then I rejected that member. I'll get into that in a different video. One of the really interesting things that happened this weekend is I had a house meeting and I asked for feedback from my existing members in one of my houses. And I said, hey, I have a new property that's online. Would you mind going over the listing and giving me your feedback from the customer side? I currently do a version of this. Part of the inbound screening questionnaire is, what did you like about the listing? Part of my member screening questionnaire after they've accepted the booking is I have a follow-up with them. I asked the question, what specifically around this property did you like? Those are two great suggestions. Incorporate them into your SOPs. If you don't have those SOPs, I'll put a link in this video. You can take a look at mine if you're interested in doing that, add some more structure to your business. But I just want to show you an insider's take on how our platform works. There's a lot of people out there that talks about co-living. I think one of the unique things and perspectives that I bring to the table is that I talk about operating my co-living properties on our PadSplit platform. So let's just dive into it, okay? I go to the search by the room page. This is where I get the competition. So I look for the areas in which my property is in. And I start looking at which properties are sitting at the top of the listing. And if you look here, you'll actually see this red bedding right here. And the reason why the red bedding is there is because if you click on it, it's right in the middle. If you look over here, it's this one. It's right in the middle of the map. And as I've told you guys before, it is LPP, is that the primary driver for our algorithm: location, price, and photos. So if your location falls right in the middle of the map, it's going to go higher on the list. If your price is really low, it's going to go higher up on the list. Those are probably the two easiest levers that you have, because I've seen some photos that are considered good. They don't really make a big difference in terms of moving the needle. I'm going to scroll down here and I want to call out a couple things. Every single property that goes on our platform, they get the same exact real estate. When I say real estate, I'm talking about this specific square. So I'm going to make it really large so we can actually play within that space. So what I highlight here, this is what I'm talking about. This is the same real estate that every single host gets. I want to scroll down and I want to show you, hey, this is your photo that is shown. You get your price, but you only get the price shown for the lowest room on your property. I'll scroll up so you can see that. That's this little line right here, which is your weekly price for the lowest and cheapest room on your property. And then if you scroll down here, this is what they would call your property title. We call that your property name and your property listing name. So it's a 200 character field. But I want to point out that, the insiders, we know there's only 81 characters here. So if you're going to get it put out there, make sure whatever you're trying to convey goes into 81 characters. So I want to scroll down and I want to show you, hey, if you look around, there's a lot of the same wording that's going on here. Newly renovated Stone Mountain, perfect for working professionals. I love when I see people who copy my listings, because I told you, I'm not the most original person. I probably stole this from somebody else. When I see the wording a certain way, I kind of like it. I want people to have a better listing. I want people to be successful. That's why I create content for you to put out there. Just do me a favor. Don't lie. Don't lie, Cletus. So if your listing doesn't have a rug and it doesn't have a painting and it doesn't have the shades on the side, someone's going to open the door and they're going to be like, this is not the room that I thought I was buying. So if you're going to use AI, just make sure that you don't over AI the property and it has a rug in there, because as soon as they open the door, they're going to expect a rug. I want to scroll down here and I want to show you the difference between a listing like this one to the left right here, who uses all of the default settings. So when you go through and you create your listing, you put your price in, you put your photos in, the platform will pump out a default setting and it'll say, live in Stone Mountain. Okay, so that's the default setting. And then if you click into it, you will also get the default property description, which reads, your future home in Stone Mountain, boop, 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 boop. Members can enjoy the outdoors, patio porch, common space, dining, default settings, okay? So just keep that in mind, is that you get 81 characters out of a 200 character field right here. And if this is what you want to live it right in there, that'll work, right? And I'm all for that. I just want to give you guys some details so that if you want to edit your listing, this is one of the ways that you can improve your listing. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find my listing and I want to talk through changes that my members talk through. with us in terms of, hey, how can you improve your listing? So this is my listing over here, and I want to go over it. I asked for a ton of feedback from them. So what we ended up settling on was they didn't really love the chopped up photo with the different items on there. I thought that the use of the photo space was really good. One photo gave descriptions. They said it was really hard to see on the mobile. So I'm editing this hero shot here. They wanted to see the kitchen was so small in the original photo. They asked me to take a different view of it. So I did that this morning to get the full space because I had one picture of the table and one picture of the kitchen, and it looked really small. In this photo from this lens, it makes it look much bigger. It went ahead and included the signs on there. It says we provide all pots and pans, dishes, air fryer, and all cleaning supplies. Added that to the photo. What I want to call out to y'all is this. If I get 81 characters, this is how I decided to use those 81 characters. So my brand is Rent Smarter, co-living in Stone Mountain. It's an Uber Black of PadSplit, and it's a professionals. And you click into it because all I really want to get off of this page, like I showed you before, is I consider this like the Amazon marketplace. If I was looking for like a toilet paper holder, these are all just different little toilet paper holders. In this case, if I'm looking for a room in Stone Mountain, what's going to make me stop the scroll and then click on my listing? And that's what I'm trying to figure out is from a marketing standpoint, did I use my 81 characters in a good enough way that it makes somebody interesting enough to click into my listing, which then takes them to my conversion page or my storefront, and this is what they get to read. So my full 200 characters reads, hashtag Rent Smarter. That is my brand, co-living in Stone Mountain. The Uber Black of PadSplit, professional, community-focused, Marriott furnished rooms. 2 gig Wi-Fi, fully stocked kitchen, safe cul-de-sac, tours available. Here's the ID. This is coming, so people can be able to search by ID number. That's what I wanted to show you. That's how I use the 200 characters. Really straightforward, really bullet pointed. The next part I want to get into is a longer thing to be able to read. This is the description, property description. You get 2,000 characters in this field. You can expand and tell more of a story. So this is where I expanded it. I have a tool for this that I use in my AI. I'll share the link below if you guys want to utilize that one. But it's a really great way because this is how we have asked members when we went through the property description with the members during my house meeting. I was like, how should it be presented? Bullet pointed? Or do you want text? And they're like, nobody reads text. So if you have it in a paragraph form, like some other folks like this, less likely going to be read than if you go ahead and put it in a colorful, bullet pointed, information driven, premium furnished rooms, boom, 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 boom. These are the things that are included. Your house is your sanctuary. This is what you get. Inclusive living, professionals, utilities, boom, 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 boom. And then you just break it down. What's the topic? What are the items? So just food for thought for the day in terms of how am I attacking my listing and who am I competing with? This is the difference between working with somebody who actually understands the product that you're working with or somebody who doesn't. So just keep that in mind. So with all that being said, the platform itself is an open dynamic marketplace. And if we're not attacking how we're marketing our rooms, then you're wasting the real estate and the space that's been given to you. So just a different way of thinking about it. If you're going to put it on a marketplace, know how the marketplace works. Talk to you soon.